Did you break it down? And do you guys anybody else you faced so far?
Well, their athleticism compares with Alabama and with Baylor. They're a very athletic team, play extremely hard, very well coached. They run a lot of nice sets, and they execute them. And they've got some really good shooting percentages. Got a young man shooting 60% from three, and he's hit 35 of them in 11 games. So he's shooting it, and I got two guys inside, one shooting 68, one shooting 64%. So I've got some great percentages, and they run some really good stuff to get them involved. So defensively, we're going to have to be really sharp, and then again, their athleticism allows us to do some things defensively.
You've mentioned perimeter defense a few times in the last few days. Do you feel like you're in any better place now through another game and another couple practices than maybe 3-4 days ago?
Still have a lot of work to do. I think we're slowly making progress, but not nearly as quickly as we had hoped.
Sense of urgency is something you've talked about with this team maybe lacking, with this being the last game before conference play starts. What do you want to see out of this team?
It's important that we play harder for longer stretches of time with more focus. I think at times that we play fairly hard, but the focus isn't there. So we need to play hard, but with focus, and for longer periods of time. So I think that's really important for us. I've mentioned ball movement 100 times. We'd like to get that going a little bit better. There are times in practice it really looks good. Other times it doesn't move quite as well. So we still have a ways to go there. But I think tomorrow it's going to be important that we're physical and match their physicality and do a great job taking away some of the things they want to do.
Coach, with Dylan back in the starting lineup in that UNLV game, it seemed like you guys played really well in that second half. What does he kind of mean in terms of energy? You hear Jordan and other players say he really brings energy back to the team. How important is he back in that starting lineup for you guys?
Well, he's a good player, and he's got a lot of experience. So it's good when he's making good basketball plays and good decisions. Something that's not talked about is he led us in assists last year. And made plays for others. So I think that's something he can really give us. To get under control and make good decisions, make good plays for his teammates.
Is it easier for some of the quote-unquote role players to play better when he's in the game, or kind of find their role for the team when he's out on the floor?
It's important that everybody feels comfortable with their role. We've had a little hard time distinguishing those roles because with Dylan being out and not playing as much as normal, and now with Chris being out and a number of new guys, and the guys not establishing himself in practice day in and day out. We've got a little hard time establishing some of those roles, and it's taken a little longer than probably what we anticipated as coaches and what the players anticipated. But hopefully we'll start knocking a few of those things out and get them more clearly defined. But because of a few injuries, because of inconsistency by our players in practice and in games, it's been hard to define those roles.
Do you feel like you know much more about Cabell and Keith and where they can fit as Pac-12 starts than you did a couple 3 weeks ago?
We still have a long way to go there. I think they've made some progress, but again, the turnovers and execution of offense, being in the right place defensively. Not only them, a number of our players, but definitely them also.
What kind of progressions have you seen out of Payton Pritchard over the last few weeks?
He's done all right. He's got to get much more physical, defensively and on the boards. He's strong. And I don't think he's demonstrated that. I don't think he's shown that, in game situations. He's shown it sometimes in practice, but like a lot of our players, he wants to shoot it, and when the shot doesn't go, then he's not giving us the defensive presence and the rebounding that he can. I think because of his strength and because of his basketball savvy, he can really be a good defender, and he should be hitting more boards than he is.
Do you think that's timidness just starting out here in college
Oh,
basketball?
I don't know. I'm not sure why, because he'll show it every now and then in practice, but it's like a lot of our team, a lot of areas, the consistency, has to get better. And he's just a freshman, so you think that he's got some room to grow into it, but definitely has to get more physical on the defensive end and on the boards.
Where do you think you've seen the most progress out of this team so far this season?
Defensively, at times, we've really shown some good things. I'd like to see us doing for longer periods of time, but, to start the game against Vegas and to start the second half, I thought defensively we were very active. Start the game against Alabama, I think we jump out 10-2, and kind of on jumped on Montana. We've come out and we've done some good things defensively, but we haven't been able to establish that and hold on to it. And so, I like at times defensively what we've been doing, but we haven't been able to consistently do it over long periods of time. And as we get into the conference, we're going to have to do a much better job of that.
Is Chris still doubtful for the Fresno State game?
Oh, he won't play.
Yeah. What does his absence, I guess, do as far as that matchup? How does that affect the game, you think?
Well, it doesn't help us any. I know that. Leading scorer and leading rebounder, second leading rebounder, and his experience. So it's a big hole to fill, but it's a great opportunity for Cavell and Roman, to step in and give us some minutes there. I really thought Jordan, went after boards about as hard as he's done, in the Vegas game, because Chris wasn't there. So no, it's a great opportunity for those other guys.
Speaking of Jordan, Saturday, seemed like he was using post moves that I was kind of expecting him more than I've seen out of him this year. Would you agree with that? And was that an emphasis? He was faking, getting people off their feet, making different kind of moves?
We've been talking about it since the start of the season, and as I mentioned there, Jordan's kind of a reluctant scorer. He stands up quite a bit, doesn't get his position, and so the other night he was a little bit more aggressive offensively and showed some of the things he can do offensively. But as I mentioned, if you look over his history, he's never been a big scorer. So it's not something he's real comfortable doing. But I think he is a much more capable scorer than what he's shown in college.
So did that just kind of happen, or was that like an emphasis from the
Well,
coaching
it's an
staff?
emphasis for the year, but that was our 12th game, and we finally scored a few. So again, you ask players to do what they're comfortable doing, and right now that's a little out of his comfort zone. But he is a capable scorer, and we'd like to see him be a little bit more aggressive there. His percentages are good. I think he's at 56%, 50-something. So that's a good percentage when you get him the ball.
Anything else? Okay.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, Dana.